Hello, my name is Deb Blum, and I'm the founder of Inside-Out Activism. And I am here to talk to you about what Inside-Out Activism is and offer an invitation to you. I think we're in unprecedented times. Perhaps not if you look back thousands and thousands of years, but certainly for the people who are living presently, these are unprecedented times. We're not just dealing with right now the present coronavirus, but we've been dealing with wildfires in California and hurricanes that have destroyed areas beyond recognition. We've been dealing with political divisiveness and strife. We've been dealing with a lot of different things that probably, at least I can speak for me, that when I was younger, it seemed like these things weren't happening. It seemed like there just weren't the type of things happening right now. There are people who are afraid of, climate change impacts, and there are ways that I think they're just ways that all of us are looking around at the world and we feel a little bit more afraid. We're feeling a little bit more concerned. And I want to just start by saying this. I have been planning on launching this thing called Inside-Out Activism for the past couple of months. I wrote a report last year called The Future of Humanity, and I put Inside-Out Activism. And I have been afraid to launch it. Just to be honest, I've been afraid. I've been afraid to come out really with my honest opinions about what I think needs to be happening. But I'm going to talk about it today because I think it's time. And I'm sure some people won't resonate with my message at all, and that's okay. I am not here to say that I know the right way. I do know, though, that I have been doing my own inner work for a very, very long time, and I'm on my own path of awakening, and I'm on my own path of cleaning up my shadows. And I have been working on showing up more and more fully as me, as my true me, the me with like all of my unique and amazing gifts, and also the me that has my quirky flaws and ways of being that could turn some people off, and trying to really truly love all of me, and to know that the me that I'm bringing to this world, it's the me that I was meant to be, that there is no mistake, right? There aren't mistakes about each of us as a human being. I know some people might feel that way because you might look at somebody and say they're causing harm, or they're hurting people, or they're just like, you just have all kinds of other judgments about them. And I get that, but I really believe that at the core of all of us is actually just our own essence, our true nature, who we really are. And that all of the other things that we're showing up as, the people who are being dishonest or they're harming people, that is usually rooted in the ways that they've been hurt, their traumas, and the ways that their traumas manifest in their present day. So it's like, it's almost as if like you can imagine that someone at the inside, every one of us has our own like unique core of goodness and of love, but life just erodes that, or life, even if you want to go a step further, I would say life is like there are these like layers of cloaks that get put on us. They're like layers of armor that get put on us to protect our hearts. We put them on ourselves, and then other people also impose things on us. And each one of those layers makes it harder and harder for us to see our true selves. But then when we do discover our true selves, and we find who we are, and we love who we are, we realize that actually that's who we're all here to try to become, like Maslow would say, self-actualization, the living into the potential. We were born for a reason. Each one of us was born for a reason. And I have been, so back to my journey is that I've been doing my work to do this. And the more that the more work I do and the more in touch I get with me and the truth of who I am, the more connected I feel to everyone else in this world. And the more that I can see that it is our fear, it is our layers of defensiveness, it is our conditioning that is causing us to suffer. It's causing us to suffer. Living from the place of our survival brain is causing us to suffer. And my invitation to people is to say, there is another way. There is a better way to do this thing called life. And we've been taught this way that really causes tremendous suffering. And a lot of people are on the path of awakening, and they're learning, and they're taking in maybe like Buddhist wisdom, or they're learning from other Eastern philosophies, or they're reading books, or they're learning from other wise people out there. And but maybe we haven't quite embodied it, right? So we might, like, you might be hearing what I'm saying and you're like, yes, I really believe this, but you still haven't been able to see it manifest in your life as the inner peace and the joy and the authenticity that you really, really want. And so I want to create a community of people who want to use those difficult things that are happening in your life and in the world around us as a fodder for our own personal transformation. Because what I believe is that I'm not suggesting that there's no value in trying to change the outside world, in the sense that there are places, if we look at our countries and worlds, where we need to actually make policy changes and law changes, and and changes that I'm in support of, that there are some things that do need to be done. So I'm not just ignorant to that or somehow trying to bypass those things, but most people are not going to be the people who go out and do the work of advocacy in those spaces. The average person is just trying to get by in their lives. The average person is feeling some fear and some worry and some concern, and they're just trying to raise their children or do their work and do a good job. And so I'm speaking to the people who want to know that they can do something and have an impact, a positive impact on this world, but they don't know what to do. And they're also wishing that they could live a better life. They're suffering. There's a lot of suffering going on in their lives. They're stressed out. I'm going to speak to the people like that are feeling this, like, right? You're stressed out. You are overwhelmed. You are anxious. There's a sense of feeling like, what do I do? And the sense of like powerlessness, a sense of powerlessness, like there's literally nothing that people can do about, say, the coronavirus. And so what we do is we do things like go get more toilet paper, or we do things that, like, we get more food, and some of these things are very, very practical things to do, and I've done them myself. I did get more food because I wanted to know that if we were holed up in our house that we could eat. So these are reasonable things. And there's also a lot of frenetic energy and this sense of feeling scared and stressed. I remember about 10 years ago talking to some neighbors, and it might have even been longer than that. I think it was actually longer, because I think it was when I first moved to California, and I remember saying something like, I feel like the energy is so frenetic. Everybody is so busy. They're just so busy, and everyone's always active. And I said that I either need to learn to be able to live in this world and not get consumed by it, or I need to move, because I blamed it on California at the time. And I realized that my only real path was to learn how to be in this world and not be consumed by it. So that was when it began for me. It took me a very long time to get there. The first 5 years after I even said those words, I just started practicing things that I don't even know that they were effective or worked, but I just tried to become more of a conscious thinker about I guess I would say back then I would have used the word intentional. I was more intentional about what I would do and what I would say yes to and what I would say no to. But over the years, I have learned many, many, many tools and strategies and words of wisdom that have helped me to live in this world and not get consumed by it. And if this was 15 years ago for me, you can imagine that things have just gotten, I think, exponentially more frenetic, more intense, more demanding. People feel more overwhelmed and are struggling. So I'm inviting people to come to this community on Facebook, where it will be me and I think other people. I think I'm going to be inviting other people in, but I'm not exactly sure what it's going to turn into. But imagine a space where you get to come, and the whole goal is to take everything that we feel afraid of and to not judge the fear, but rather to look at the fear and understand what is the root of the fear. Why are we feeling afraid? And what is it that we can do? How can we feel more empowered? How can we heal from the traumas that happened in our childhood that have us feeling more fear and insecurity and worry in this present day? So my invitation to people is to come into this environment, into this space, with the idea of either you're already saying yes and you're on board with me and you just want to practice more and do more and you want to embody this more, or maybe you're listening to me and you're saying, listen, I don't even know what you're talking about, but if you're going to show me a better way or another way, then I'm bored. I want to go check it out. Well, then come in. It is a place for us to see the world from a different perspective, to expand the way that we look at our problems, to see that at the end of the day, all of these things are going to keep happening. We are not going to, we are not entering times where we can say that, oh, well, when the coronavirus is over, we're just going to be okay again. We can see that it just keeps on escalating and escalating. Things are getting more and more out of our hands. So if we can't control it, which we cannot, then the question is, what can we control? And the answer to that is we can control ourselves. We can heal from the wounds that have us feeling the level of anxiety and stress that we're feeling. We can. So my question for you is, are you willing to join me? Join me as we figure out what Inside-Out Activism actually is. I don't have an answer. I know what I think it is, but I don't know what it will grow into. I want to know what you would like it to be. But what I do know is that what we do is it's for people who want to heal the world, heal the planet, save humanity, if you will, by doing our inner work, by coming from the inside out, from everything that we judge on the outside and we point a finger, that we use that as an opportunity to reflect inward, to see what it is inside of us that needs to be shored up or healed or looked at or integrated. My one last thing I want to say is that there are a bunch of people out there who might listen to this who feel like they're doing this work in the world. I invite you to, for two really important reasons. One reason is because I believe you can share the wisdom, and I am not here to be selfish about this. I am here because I genuinely believe that this is the pathway to healing our planet and to a future of less suffering. And so I want you here to help. I want you to contribute. I want you to share your wisdom in this community. And my second reason is because we all need support. The people who are the leaders in the space of trying to show people the way, the light bringers, the truth seekers, the truth tellers, the people who are showing the way toward waking up, the people who are already doing their inside-out activist work. Well, you need help too. You need support and love and to feel like you're less alone on this journey. So let's join together. So I want the people who are already doing the work, the people who are leading people doing the work, and the people who are brand new to this and who are just barely feeling the tap on your shoulder to wake up and consider that it's possible that the way that we're living our lives needs to be adjusted, that we need to find another way, that we need to be able to live in this world and not be eaten alive by it, that we need to see that the outside world is a reflection of the inner angst that we're all experiencing. It is a reflection of the collective angst that we are dealing with. It is a reflection of the inner, individual, generational, and collective traumas. And we all feel it and experience it. And so I would love for you to join me. Come on in. Guess what? If you join Inside Out Activists and you spend a month there and you don't like it, you can leave. It's a beautiful thing. And there is no charge. This is something that I would like to do to really build community. My vision is to create courses that will be for a fee, to create courses to support people on this journey. But the Facebook community is for us to come together and to support one another and to be supported, to feel supported, to feel like maybe there is another way to navigate the world. Because I really do believe that each one of you, every one of you, is the solution. I believe each one of us brings a puzzle piece that's necessary to solve the world's problems. The problems have become so complex that it's almost impossible to imagine how could we solve the world's problems. But I believe the reason why we aren't able to solve the world's problems is because it's a collective problem, I guess. It's that we need to each bring our own unique selves, and that each of us has a part to the puzzle. And we each need to bring our voice. We each need to be courageous and show up fully. Because I believe each one of us, we are absolutely we are truly humanity's greatest hope. I really believe each one of us is humanity's greatest hope. And that each one of us, when we do our own inner work, when we do our own healing, and when we become a more integrated being, and we feel more whole, and we could feel more connected to ourselves, when we make these adjustments, when we heal, when we grow in this way, when we show up more fully, we give other people permission to do the same. And when each of us brings our own selves to this world, it is only then that I really believe we will find our way. That is the way. That is the way. So please join me. I'm going to include the link below in anything that you're looking at right now. So please feel free to click the link and join. I look forward to having you part of the community, and I appreciate you listening to me today and hearing my views and even just being here with your, for me this is a pretty courageous thing to do, to step out before I'm ready. And I hope you can also step out before you're ready and step into this journey of inside-out activism. Thank you.